Hey guys, I hope you're doing well. I'm Mohana from Home Decor Moods, and in today's video we are making some more clay dishes. Now, in this video we are using different molds, different tricks to shape our dishes. Some of them are really interesting. I have already done a clay dishes video. You may check that out. That is obviously different from this one. So let's get started. We'll need a flat surface, some clay, different molds. I'm using utensils from the kitchen, some water, a knife or a cutter, a cylindrical thing to flatten our clay. I'm using this bottle. You may use a balun or a rolling pin. So let's get started. We take a chunk of clay and make it circular with our hands. Then add some water to the flat surface and on the top of our clay and start flattening it. The thickness of the clay should be at least 3 millimeters. Adding water to the bottle helped so the clay wasn't sticking to it as much. Yeah, much better. So we take our mold. I am using a small kitchen bowl here and press it down pretty hard and then pull the excess clay. Then place it on our mold to give it the shape of a dish. Then we smooth out the edges a little bit. We will be sanding this once it's dry, so it doesn't have to be perfect. We then leave this to dry. So the ones that we've made in the earlier video, the edges of all of them are very organic and not a perfect circle. So this one we are going to make a perfect circle. I'm using air dry clay and my packaging says it will take 24 hours to dry. So I'm going to leave it for a day. You can use oven dry clay or just read the packaging of your clay and see how much time it takes to dry. Now let's move on to the second one. We again start with flattening our clay, and in this one we are using a leaf as a mold. So we'll take the leaf. Here I'm using this money plant leaf that was yellowing and place it on our clay, and using a knife or a cutter cut out around the leaf to make a leaf shaped clay dish. Now we can also use artificial leaves over here. Now just go over it one more time to ensure that all the clay is cut, and then pull the excess clay. Clean up the edges. And then I'm making these veins that we find on an actual leaf. I'm using the non-sharp edge of the knife at all times. Now this was the tricky part, picking it up and placing it in a container to give it that dish shape. It ruined the edges a little bit, but if you do this, what I'd suggest is placing a piece of plastic between your flat surface and clay and just placing the clay leaf with the plastic underneath on the container to give it a dish-like shape. I'm using the lid of a jar to place the leaf on it. So let's move on to our third dish. In this one, take a pretty big piece of clay. Here I'm using water to attach small pieces into big one, and we start rolling it on our flat surface. We roll it pretty thin. I found that rolling in between my hands was much easier and faster. You may use some water, just very little, to help shape it. These must be around 5 to 7 millimeters thick. So I found that the best way to do this is roll out a little bit at a time and start wrapping it around itself. Then roll out some more and wrap it again, and continue like this till we have our whole clay piece wrapped around itself. Make the end a little thinner. Then simply place it in a container to give it the shape of a dish and let dry. So ensure that all these layers are sticking to each other just as much as you can. If a little bit is not sticking, that's fine. These are the 3 dishes. We're going to let this dry for 24 hours. So a couple of hours later, I kept this leaf edge near a container like this to keep the shape. Now it's the next day and all our dishes have dried, so we start painting. But before that, just sand down any edges and shape them a little bit more. So the first one, the circular one, I'm painting a couple of colors, making a fun dish. I'm using acrylic paint. I'm using a peach, a pale pink, and a muted yellow. You may use any colors. I think blues and greens might look amazing. Next, I'm painting the edge with maroon. Then I'm diluting some black acrylic paint with water so it's easy to spray it. I'm taking a brush, picking up some color and just spraying it on my dish to make these black speckles. There it is, our finished dish. I love how cute and fun and colorful this is. The next one, the leaf one, I'm painting it with green. I don't think that you need to paint it with green just because it's a leaf. You can paint it a nice gold color, just a peach color. Anything I think will look great. I'm taking this different shade of green and lightly painting with it to give it some dimension and some color. I'm also painting the edges gold. And here is our leaf trinket dish. How pretty is this? So the next one I ended up keeping like this since it kept falling in the container and I didn't want it to lose its shape or that the layers to come apart. Now we just separate it from the mold and I see that the inside hasn't completely dried. So I'm going to put it back in my balcony, let the sun dry it up a little bit more. So I love how it's looking. It's dried very well. So I'm painting this a beige color. Spraying some black and white speckles. Again, I'm diluting black and white acrylic paints with water and then spraying them. And we're done. How fun is this? I'm loving all my new trinket dishes. Guys, I hope you like this video. These were some new ideas for trinket dishes and let me know in the comments below which one was your favorite and which one you'd like to try, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.